teens and adults. I want to wish you a good afternoon. Today I'm going to talk about some of the things that you need to know to really prepare you to get out to the road. These are things that I've seen consistently over the last year and a half. The steering wheel is round. You need to learn how to properly turn the steering wheel. We all know there's an airbag in the middle. It's been an airbag in the middle of the steering wheel over 10 years. At the end of the day, you need to learn how to use your left hand and your right hand to turn the steering wheel. Think of it as a round object. Steering wheels are round. None of us are driving the Tesla Plaid that has a yoke. Elon, what are you thinking? The steering wheel is round. Your left hand needs to stay on the left side. Your right hand needs to stay on the right side. Why am I saying this to you? Because I've seen over the last 6 months, 8 months, a year, people, adults and teens, and adults I'm referring to 18 to 46 years old, who do not know how to turn the steering wheel. I'm gonna give you a tip. You're gonna make your job harder for me as an instructor, harder for yourself. You're gonna have more frustration because you're not understanding concepts of properly turning the wheel. AAA, which is a national organization, says 7 and 5, your hands are lower on the steering wheel, is probably the best way to turn the steering wheel. It depends on your arm length. I'm over 6'4". I have very long arms. We need to be about 10 inches to 12 inches from the steering wheel. Why? There's an airbag in the middle of the steering wheel, and upon impact, this bag will inflate at over 200 miles an hour. Now, I'm not stupid and I'm not dumb. I'm not saying you should or should not cross your hands, because the National Highway Safety Transportation says that 9 and 3 or 10 and 2 are still the best ways to turn in right turns, where you're making a 90-degree right turn. Pretend we come up to a stop. I ask you to look left. I ask you to look right. I ask you to look left. If you drop your left hand down to the bottom of the wheel, you're going to overturn. You're going to make a really wide turn, hitting traffic in the left lane, causing an accident. You're going to hit that gas like beginner drivers do because they're not properly educated. Your left hand needs to be on the left side of the wheel. Your right hand needs to be on the right side of the wheel. In some cases, you will have to turn hand over hand. Going around curves, we're just guiding our hands on the wheel, turning at a slight angle. If your instructor is not teaching you how to properly turn, you're going to struggle in lesson 1, lesson 2, and lesson 3. Right around lesson 3, you should understand, you should know how to turn the steering wheel. Here's other information to help you. A lot of beginning drivers do light traffic light driving. You don't go on busy roads. You're primarily driving straight from your home to school. I'm doing good. How you doing? What is up? Hopefully you're doing good too, E. Doing great. I appreciate the love. It's really important that you learn the proper concept. Thank you so much, E. Really appreciate you. You got to learn the proper concept of turning. You always should turn in the nearest lane. Why do you think on your road test, if you go out of your lane or encroach or go in another lane, it's automatic failure? Think about that. Why do you think when you're making a left turn, it's a 90-degree turn? Turn in the nearest lane. The nearest lane is by the double yellow. Every time we drive, there's always a risk. I'm at an intersection right now, parked. There are cars coming in and out. I see cars cutting across the double yellow line. Thank you. And someone in this gas station is going to get hit. Hopefully it's not me. But what I'm saying is there are things happening all the time. We're in the United States and all around the world. We're celebrating Memorial Day. There are some people who won't return home because they're under the influence, they're driving really fast, they're tired. Okay, we want to take a moment to pray for them. For a lot of you who are beginning drivers, you're going to be leaving the state, driving to Chicago, driving to Ohio, driving to Texas. And that's how you learn how to drive. You should be able to hear those motorcycles. Some people don't wear helmets. Driving is a risk. Those of you who are learning how to drive, in unfortunate situations, it is so true, because you want to make sure you're physically able to drive, you're emotionally able to drive, and you're rested. The worst thing is to learn how to drive and you got to drive for 6 hours or 10 hours. I've been there before. It sucks. Every half an hour is a struggle. You're straining, you're tired, you're trying to stay awake, and as a result, you're not going fast enough or you're going too slow. Next, beginning drivers need there's a car getting ready to back into me right now. People aren't looking. They aren't paying attention. And if you really want to learn, park your vehicle, look at an intersection. There's a lot of traffic from the left, a lot of traffic from the right. People don't use blinkers. They're cutting across any gap they can to avoid construction. That is dangerous and illegal, because if you cut through a gas station or a store, it's called avoiding the light, and that's a ticket. Let's talk about what your coach should do. Your coach should be patient with you, right? It is common sense, but a lot of people don't have common sense. They think, I'm okay. And that's when you hit a pedestrian. That's when you get a ticket unnecessarily. That's when you smash your only car, and then your parents are like, we can't help you. You got grandma's car. I'm getting ready to retire. I guess you better get a job. It takes money for insurance, gasoline, and beginners do not do really good at routine maintenance. Check your oil, rotate your tires, know how to change a flat tire.